begin, I'm going to welcome up onto the stage, we have Mike Costache, who's the CEO at d10e, crowd mentor, BIC and BXC. Now, he has never liked to be put in a box, so he has spent the last 20 years being an entrepreneur, an investment banker, an author, a professor, a speaker, an angel investor. He has also been a contributor and done lots of fundraising for various charities in a whole lot of different sectors. Currently, as I mentioned, he's managing partner at Crowd Mentor, founder of the Blockchain Investors Consortium and the Blockchain Exchange Consortium, and serves on the advisory board of Token as a Service, which is the first ever tokenized closed-end fund dedicated to investments in blockchain assets. So can you please give Mike Costache a very warm welcome to the stage.
Good morning. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you very much. Good morning, Japan. Good morning, Tokyo. Good morning. We've gone to all these cities because somebody said, let's go to Bucharest, let's go to Davos, let's go to Ljubljana or Gibraltar. And we're here because a good friend of ours, Eric Gu, who's a great organizer of conferences, was the founder of Metaverse Foundation in China, the first ICO in China, if I may say ICO on this stage here in Japan. And also the founder of Right BTC, which today is the 35th largest cryptocurrency, if you look it up on CoinMarketCap. And he said to me 2 months ago, we got to go to Tokyo together, and here we are. So thank you, Eric, wherever you are in the audience. There you are. Thank you. So there's always a reason why we are somewhere. I've had the pleasure to meet a lot of wonderful people, but I do have to mention, before I say anything further, that there's someone extremely special here with us who started organizing these d10e conferences when I didn't even know how to spell blockchain. And that person is Matt McKibben, who is a wonderful fellow and human being. Matt is the founder of Decentralization, one of the top advisory firms. He's doing a lot of good work with only the top companies that very few advisors get to touch. So he's ahead of everyone. And you'll get to hear his presentation. I'm so happy that he's here with us. Craig Sellers is with us, who has been to almost every d10e event, and when he couldn't come, he came live through Skype to not miss imparting his knowledge. He helped me 2 years ago exactly, March 5th of 2 years ago in Amsterdam, I understand how to spell blockchain, if I may say so. But the format of these events, as you know, is to befriend each other while having dinners and while touring culturally for 1 or 2 days in the local city before we start a conference. So we have prepared a little video just to show you, those of you who couldn't make it, how much fun we had yesterday. So next time we do events and we invite you on these cultural days before the conference, you could join us. So here's a little short video from yesterday and Saturday. So as we go around the world and chase money and investors and advisors, we have to remember that we're human beings. I always have to remind people when I get on this stage that that is who we are first, and then we are executives or lawyers or whatever we do in our profession, because we do live for a living. We don't work for a living, and we're trying to work less, but we're actually working more because technology is catching up to us. So that's the purpose of these trips, is to befriend each other at a different level. Just kind of like when you go play golf and you're stuck with those 3 other people for 4 hours and you have to unpeel the onion of you. That's the purpose of these trips. So hopefully when we invite you for future editions, you'll know that's what happens, and then you come to the conference and it's a different environment. Our last event was in a magical place called Liberland. And we have Vit here with us, who's going to be giving a wonderful presentation and an update of the craziness he's been living for 3 years before anybody was even trying to decentralize Facebook or Twitter or whatever industry or sub-industry you're trying to decentralize with all your great ideas. He came up with this crazy way of risking his life and said, this plot of land that Croatia and Serbia, neither country wants or claims it, we'll call this Liberland. And 500,000 people just flooded his email box and have signed up to be part of this movement called Liberland. So it's so wonderful that 3 years later, he's upped his game, and we did a really nice event there just a couple of weeks ago. It was a small event, 130 people, but many of us brought our wives and our significant others and our kids, and it was so cool to one day understand that our kids will look at those pictures and that video and realize we were at the beginning of the movement of decentralizing what I call the modern day slavery chains that we all live with, because we've accepted borders and currencies, and there's 2,200 billionaires and 200 national or federal banks, right, which are controlled by 9 board members or so. So those 4,000 or 5,000 people control the interest rate and everything else that we do. And here we are trying to decentralize everything so we can control with our own brains in the age of meritocracy how much money we make and how well we live. So this stage is white. I've asked everybody in our company to make the stages always white, because most conferences have them in black and they're depressing. And if you look at the list of all the CEOs, 700 and so, that have been on the stage, that at one point dreamt some big thing, and then they became the founder of EOS, the founders of Bancorp, the founder of Neuromation, and all these, Gigawatt, and all these amazing companies that you've heard of and now are trading, and there's liquidity for those investors. We added it up, and it's close to $3.5 billion that they ended up raising, and we were just a small part of their roadshow. And this is really what we are today. We're a part of your roadshow as you're coming up with an idea, or as you're hatching it, or as you're finishing your round. So at whatever level you are, the purpose of this d10e family that we're putting together is to help you get there faster. And then afterwards, what's amazing is that there's a repeat cycle, that you become an advisor, then you help other companies. That's really cool that I've seen over the last 2 years. So many people raise money and then go on, build those companies and become advisors to others. So with that, I am going to invite Naomi to welcome a very special friend of mine that I had the pleasure of meeting over a number of d10e events and other conferences organized by other folks. And he has a wonderful story, and that's why we want to start this morning with someone who is so tenacious that went out there and said, I'm going to decentralize something really important to me, which is the retail aspect, and use artificial intelligence to bring more efficiency to when I pick up a can of anything, of soup from a supermarket shelf, what happens to that whole supply chain, and how do you, by the way, end or reduce world hunger by bringing efficiency and saving billions and billions of dollars that are today being wasted by intelligent people like us who haven't figured out how to use artificial intelligence and the blockchain. So I can't wait to have Alex up here on stage, but I'll let Naomi introduce him. And thank you very much for being here. We have so many wonderful speakers, and tomorrow, of course, we have the pitch competition. So far, we've had, this will be our 12th pitch competition since we started in September in Kyiv. We've imparted $2.3 million onto 23 companies. I think 6 of them won twice. Then we tell them, okay, enough. Don't shout for the 3rd time, because if you win, it's let other people come on stage and win. I think we have 18 companies tomorrow on this stage for the 10-minute format. And what we try to do after $2.3 million from about 8 of us, we decided to empower the audience. So everybody that bought a ticket for $995 gets $500 credit, which that money goes to these top 3 winners tomorrow. and therefore we've just now empowered you to be an investor, not just a participant voting for the audience award. So that's the biggest change that we've made now, and hopefully as we get 2,000 people in the audiences and through Facebook Live, we have hopefully $1 million that goes to the top 3 of every one of these events. Thank you very much, and Naomi,